in America that are in the economy, that have money, are Jews. So these are their cousins. In America, there are so many Jews, and these are their cousins. So 1948 is when they came and occupied that land. It's like someone coming from Kenya and he comes to your land, your father's land, and he says, please, let me stay here. And being a blood, he said, it's okay. Now, 50 years later, the man starts saying, by the way, this is my land. By the way, don't pass here anymore. You get? This is what is happening in Palestine, Gaza land. Someone comes and occupies your land, you believe you can live together, but at the end of the day, the man starts claiming rights over you, the owner. By the way, do you remember, if you didn't know, these Israelis, before they settled in Gaza, in Palestine, there was a proposal that they should be brought to Uganda. That they should be brought to Uganda. Now, the problems facing Palestine now in Gaza, these are the problems we would be facing here. So, somebody comes and occupies your land. He imprisons all the young people. The young generation, they are not going to school. They are in prison. The biggest prison in the world is found in Gaza. Prison. Open prison. That you can't go into this, you can't eat this. Just like it was happening during colonial times, that this road is for the white people, yours is this one. This bar is for the white person. It is what is happening the other side. You get? If you're a Palestinian, there is a border you cannot cross. You know? But the other people are crossing. America openly supports what Israel is doing in Gaza Strip. They even went and opened an embassy to deal with Israelis, not Palestinians. You get? Okay. Support openly. Now, when someone attacks your home, you have the right to use any amount of energy and weaponry that you can to ensure that you repel back that person out of your home. This is what Palestinians did under Hamas, fighting. Now, when they fight and they kill, of course they should kill. Because right now, what is Israel doing?
Killing them.
Are they giving them ice cream? No, they are killing them. So now when they kill, America, and I want you to know that there is also another school of thought, that it is very possible that America and the Israelis could have planted this killing to spark a reason as why they should wipe you all out and take over the land. There is also that we're investigating, because these people are tricky. They can come and cause that war, kill people, and they put it on you, so that we give them justification to kill indiscriminately what they are doing. So when they start killing, first of all, America was saying Hamas have killed innocent people, so they deserve to be killed. But the first thing is that they were able to observe that the people, the group of people that has killed innocent people are the Hamas, isn't it? And Hamas is a rebel group. That's what they say. So it means you have already identified the person, the group that has killed people. Now, in retaliation, why are you doing the same killing indiscriminately? By killing innocent children, women, bombing hospitals, are you going to do exactly the same like the one we are condemning? And America is supporting that. That if they have attacked you, you also go, if they have killed 100 people from your home, from your country, go and kill 1 million people. And kill everybody there, including mosquitoes and animals. And they say, now, America is supervising over that. And they say that is correct. If someone has made a mistake, and you also do the same, or even worse, are you better than the other person? So America wouldn't have been America, the headmaster of the world, wouldn't have been the one to support Israel to go and kill innocent people, killing indiscriminately, bombing the hospital and everything. No, you cannot do that. And you say you're a peacekeeper. How? So this war has helped some of us to further tell the world that this is the true America. This is the real America now. The reason behind supporting such heinous acts is because they want to support Israel to take over Palestine because they feel that that place in the hands of Israel with America, whose citizens, some of them are very rich in America, that will give them a good settling. So they can no longer teach anybody about freedom of what they call universal human rights. They don't have. So this one in a way has helped us. When the same thing happened, you have seen how their reaction in Ukraine. They have condemned Putin for aggression, but they are supporting Israel.
They even cited crimes on there's
crimes against humanity.
Yes. There's already a term.
Yes.
But in this case, we see a lot of violations of war.
Yes.
In
Now,
of Afghanistan.
The same thing here. They have accused Putin for aggression, taking over another country's territory. But Israel have done the same to Palestine. They are supporting. But Ukraine, they are accusing Putin. But the same people who are saying it is bad to overtake another country's territory are in Cuba, Guantanamo Bay. Cuba is not part of America. No, Cuba is an independent country, but America took over Guantanamo Bay prison, and that's why it jails and kills all the people that do not agree with America. They don't want to do those heinous acts in their land, in their territory. No, they are bringing them in another person's land. They don't want that blood to spill over in their land. No, it must spill over in Cuba. The person who is accusing Russia of invading a country, they have invaded the Cuba for decades. So what are you telling the world?
They're not any better.
Yeah.
Council Lufunye, we are just speaking thoughts on what is happening in Gaza. That's what I began with. The war continues to escalate. So many people have been killed. On the side of Palestinians, they say about 10,500. On the side of the Israelis, I think 1,000. But I say the biggest number of Palestinians who died in this war are babies. Today in the morning I was watching Al Jazeera and I saw the biggest hospital where most of these people are picked from rebels were taken. Israel has bombarded it. That is Shifa Hospital. Imagine the doctors, the patients, the shape. Your thoughts on this war generally?
First, it's very, very unfortunate if lives have to be quantified in terms of statistics. We are talking about 10,000s, and these are lives of people, dreams shattered, young lives cut short. However, you must understand that discussing the Israel-Palestine war, you must be well grounded on the history of the state of Israel. I will kind of disagree with my brother here that the state of Israel was just created in 1948. No, it stretches as far. For those who are in the Bible, it's even biblical. Actually, the territorial boundaries of the state of Israel can be found in the biblical book of Exodus, and it starts from the Red Sea, and these have historical connotations as far as Jericho. These are territorial boundaries of the state of Israel. However, you must understand that historically in the 17th century, a great Ottoman general, Saladin, dispossessed the Jews and cast them off that land, and they were spread off to Europe and all. Now, historical events have happened. The Jews have thrived in Europe until Hitler, Holocaust. 1945, with the creation of the United Nations, the superpowers, America, Britain, Russia, and all that, sat down and mooted the idea of re-establishment of the state of Israel. And in 1948, I think the thought came materialized and the state of Israel was created.
But where exactly were they? You agree with him that Uganda was one of the areas they thought about to restore them?
Yes.
If they knew that this was their land, why would they think of any other place then?
You see, I have tried to labor to explain the history of where the genesis. The war between Palestine and Israel is biblical. It's as it is the most recorded war ever. The times of the judges, Solomon and the Palestinians. It is the most recorded war ever. It is the most recorded land dispute ever. So, you know, what we are dealing with are, let me call them, they are just characteristics of state formation and how the state protects itself. Now, you find that if you give a classic example of Uganda itself, we had states. Buganda was a state where you were. Buganda was a state, you understand? But as time evolved, a bigger state with bigger organization and more powerful took over the state. Now, there have been aspects of Buganda trying to re-emerge what they call sub-Buganda nationalism. Bunyoro, Toro, these kingdoms you see here were states. But at the end of the day, the bigger state takes over. The unfortunate bit in this war is the loss of life. But whatever is happening is typical of creation of a state and how the state protects itself and its survival. So there are so many things. It's not the first time the Israelis have been dispossessed. In Egypt when they were slaves, in Babylon and the Ottoman Empire. Now, whatever they are doing right now is to assert themselves, but also for the Palestinians to also assert their right to have them recognized as a state. You know, very few countries internationally recognize Palestine as a state.
Palestine?
Yes, very few recognize Palestine as a state.
Do they recognize Israel as a state?
Yes, because you see, Israel has international allies, and these international allies are global political trade
brokers.
Yes, you understand? The US, which has provided leadership for almost the 20th century, you understand? These are allies. France, Britain, which was once the colonial master of that land, which they are fighting over. All these countries have backed up the formation of the state of Israel and its right to defend its existence. Whereas they mock the idea that Palestine has equal rights to coexist. It's a dicey situation. However, for me, my view would be that in whatever is going on, the peace should prevail. The peace should prevail, because it's also very risky business, you understand, for Hamas and Palestine, you understand, to attack a well-established, strong state like Israel with the capacity it has, you understand. When you look at the economy of the Middle East, you understand, Israel should be the biggest economy, or one of the first top economies in the Middle East. Its land size is almost the size of Rwanda. Israel, the state of Israel, is the size of Rwanda, but they have done fantastic jobs in innovation in agriculture, in medical science, in national defense. They have a thriving democracy, despite the issues they have with the protection of the state. Now, whereas any state would have the right to protect itself and preserve itself.
Is that thanks to its allies, or?
No. And okay, partly yes, but you see, because the Jewish state, or the Zion state, whatever they call the state of David, has had historical issues of upset. They've been in slavery for almost 3 times. Coming back, leaving their land and coming back. They left and went to Egypt as slaves, came back across the Red Sea, and then went to Babylon as slaves, came back. You know, there is a famous song, By the Rivers of Babylon. When we sat, we were seeing, and then we remembered Zion. Yep. You see, they remembered Zion because they were conquered by the Babylonians and went into slavery, came back. When they came back, the Ottoman Empire, which was the reigning power at that time, I think that is the remnant of Turkey, now, came back in the 17th century through Saladin, conquered them again, and where the biggest religious relic of the Islam, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, is situated, is what the people, or the Bible refers to, the Jews refers to as Temple Mount. The site, the very, very site where the Temple of Solomon was. So it is, I think it would be, if we are to look at what has been written, what the history that has been written, the Israelites or the Jews have always been the natives of that land. However, through conquests of states, they've always been dispossessed. And one of the arguments that has been put up by Netanyahu and other politicians in Israel is that if you take my shirt, you understand, forcefully, and you manage to take it away, it will be yours for a particular period. But when I come back to claim, you cannot say you're never here. And they've given classic examples. They've said even when they left in the 17th century and came back in the early 1940s.
But Council Rufunya, I want to take you back to 1948, like Mr. Rume was saying. When the Zionist movement, which began in England, when they were contemplating to restore the Israelis who had been killed by Hitler and Holocaust and others, they thought of two areas. Where should we take them? And in the UN, they settled, the resolution that they settled on was that let us resettle these people in an area where there are no people. And that's how they zeroed down to settling them where they are now. So if what you're telling us is true, that initially this was their land, well then, they wouldn't think of other alternatives where to take them. They would all first focus on that particular area.
You know, Zionism is not Jewish culture. It's a school of thought headed by one Jew who, with the idea that the state of Israel should be reenacted. We should have the state of Israel come back.
Reincarnated.
Yeah, reincarnated. Now, there were two schools of thought. We should not take Israel to Palestine because Palestine is now already a state. Recognized. However, the hardliners or the leftists said no, we should go back to the land that was given to our grandfather Abraham, his son Isaac, and our great-grandfather Jacob. You understand? So the option of Uganda was ruled out, or Karamoja. I think I've had talk of Karamoja area, because when you look at the land mass of Karamoja, it's bigger than the state of what? The state of Israel. More fertile, actually. They preferred the land that had been earmarked, because they said for Uganda has never historically been ours. You understand? Let's go back to the land that was bequeathed to us. You understand? As grandchildren of Abraham to Jacob.
By the time they bequeathed it to them, were there no people?
No. You see, that's why I'm saying we should go to the aspects of state formation. You see, Israel had earlier occupants who were Canaanites, Amobites, Cushites. You understand? But through conquest and formation of the state of Israel, you understand? The Canaanites were conquered. And this land was given to the Israelites. You understand? A state of Israel. Because even Cush was a state, but it was a weak state that could not sustain, it did not have an army, you understand, to fend off the great Israel army that was led by Joshua, you understand, till the creation of these aspects that we see here, historically.
Are the Israelis the same as Israelites? Because this ones are referring to them as Israelis.
No, the Israelites...
what's the difference?
Israel is a state, you understand? The occupants of the states, currently we could call them Israelites, you understand?
It's wrong to refer these ones as Israelites.
You know, Israelites even have components of Palestinians, Samaritans, you understand? Currently, when you look at the occupation, the 12 sons of Jacob, you understand, were the ones that formed the greater state of Israel. But currently, when you see the ones who are dominating are two tribes, that's the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Benjamin. The Samaritans went away. They're in Syria. You understand? The Levites, who are supposed to be priests, are somehow scattered all over the place. You understand? The Jordanians, who are the neighbors to Israelites on the west, You understand?
West
As
Bank.
long as, you understand?
West Bank.
Yes?
But if you can allow me,
Please.
he has given very good history. But there is one factor that remains constant. If somebody is debating on where to put you, it means you have no home.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
You have no home. Because how can the children of Israel, and those are children of God, we are not children. If this heaven is where God resides, those children are almost like a kilometer away from God. Now the Ugandans are thousands of miles and the rest of the world. But those children who are next to God, they have no official home. You see, we are here, we are in Uganda, we are Ugandans.
Yes.
Kenyans are in Kenya, they are Kenyans. Rwandans are in Rwanda, they are Rwandans. You get? Israelis are where? But these are the children of God.
The children of God.
They
are the
bequeathed you
Israelites.
a land that belonged to somebody else. How on earth could God allocate every other person a land but not his own children, the Israelis?
Council, that's why I asked you to draw a difference between the Israelis and the Israelites. Because the other Israelites, whom the Quran and the Bible refers to, who are very special, gifted. God even sent them food from heaven. Is that in the Bible also?
Yes.
Those who are so much
Actually, at
loved
that
by
time, there
God.
were 2 million.
Yes.
By the
Those
time
were
of
so
Exodus,
much
the
loved by
Israel-
God.
The Israelites were 2 million.
Are these
sheep.
the same Israelis we are looking at now?
Because you see,
Are they the same?
you cannot divorce the formation of the state of Israel and Palestine from the historical facts.
But also the historical facts are not actually in favor of the Israelis. Their own Bible.
It is true. Historically here, Uganda, we once had the Ngoni migration. Who came from
South Africa.
South Africa. There were occupants here. All the Fulani who came from Western Africa. All the Bachwezi, you understand?
Yeah.
But you see, the states,
Or the Batembus.
the Batembos, the Balanji,
But they know, they are clear, they know.
And Labongo.
One thing is, they know that we have conquered.
yes, exactly.
We have found
Now you see.
people, we have found the people and conquered.
And I have told you that the formation of the state is that a superior organized group will always come. It doesn't matter. You see, even in land law, they say he who possesses land, you understand, has a superior claim on what? On ownership. Now, when the Zionist movement materialized in 1948 and they created the state of Israel, you understand? The issue was property annexed as far as the state of Israel can go. That's why you even have Israel in Golan Heights.
All right. Stephen, I want you to bring you into this debate you are discussing, just sharing thoughts on because it's a long history. I'm glad the council even took us from the biblical perspective. But it's something actually that goes far, far back. Your thoughts, your take on this one?
I think about the Israel-Hamas war. These people are suffering from conflicting history. So my idea will somehow be similar to council's idea, because when you are seeing from the history in the past, and mainly in the Bible for those who read it, they tell you that from the first, actually where they are, they were not there at the first. Because when you are seeing in the Bible says that God promised Abraham that I will take you to the land and I will give you the land. Leave your home, I will give you a new home. And that was Canaan, actually where they are now. So after reaching there, then comes in another history of them moving to Egypt, where they were now slaves there, and that was due to hunger. You know the history of Joseph and all that. Then after being there, then now God says, I'm taking you back to your land using Moses. So when from there, you see they pass through battles.
Are they the same people you're talking about?
They are the same people.
They're the same?
Yes. And after reaching there, now what is disturbing these people is the war that was between Israel and Palestine in the first, where David and Goliath were involved. for them, they are always telling these people that from the first, we agreed that if one of the state wins, then another state will be a slave to the other state. That's what the Bible says. And what they did after David winning, then they say that the Palestinians will be their slaves for life. That's what they are believing in. That's why I started by saying that they are suffering from conflicting history. So what is there now, I don't agree with it personally. And what USA is doing is like there was a president in a certain country in Latin America. He said that my enemies will do what is in the law, but my friends will do whatever they want to do. So that is what USA is also doing. The allies are doing whatever they want to do, and they say they don't talk about human rights there. And when the other people do the same thing what the allies are doing, they say now they are violating human rights. They when Trump was still the president of USA, I think that is when they declared Jerusalem as the capital city of Israel. And remember, Jerusalem was the part of Palestine.
And the biggest conflict is what Council there mentioned. There's that mosque/temple.
Yes.
The Al-Qudus.
Al-Aqsa.
Yes. That's where actually, you know, the walls around that.
Yes. The
Israelites, they share it.
The Israelites believe this temple was built by King Solomon. And the Palestine, they also say this mosque, this is a mosque, but the other ones are saying this is a temple.
But they both believe that it was established by the same person, Solomon/Sulaiman.
Yes. But now they are having that conflicting history. Someone believes that have another perception on the same thing, and another country is also having a different perception. So they are fighting because of history.
Yeah.
But then, what is so bad in this war is that people are losing lives, and USA, which says that is the superpower, is not doing anything. And you know,
they are doing something.
It is doing something.
They are supporting. They are
supporting the loss of lives of the Palestinians.
So they are doing something.
And it is what I say that the other man said that my friends will do what they want. But my enemies will do what is in the law. So they are not following what actually should be done. They are doing a long thing in supporting their allies.
Okay.
Because Palestine is already an established country, but then they are saying no, you can attack Palestine because that was your land from first. Why? Because you are my friend and you have nothing to do.
You are doing everything in the law. Council, I want to ask you about the double standards of the United States of America, the so-called hegemony. We have seen how it vehemently comes out condemn, you know, whenever they sense that there is violation of human rights. Like in Ukraine, Russia war, where they're accused of Putin, you know, wars against, war crimes, and then there's the way you term them, that those violations.
War crimes and crimes
crimes against humanity. Here, when the UN sat the other day, US rejected the idea of a ceasefire. You saw that. And some other countries, they rejected. They said, no, there shouldn't be a ceasefire. This is going to give space to the Hamas. But what we are seeing, like I told you, the biggest hospital, which has been accommodating the casualties of the war, it has been bombarded here. And the US is still silent. The hegemony. The double standards the US is showing this particular. What's your take on this?
The US has never had double standards. It has a policy, and the US will only act if it's in the best interest and if it's in line with the US policy. Now, historically, US policy is that the state of Israel must be established at all costs. That has been from the time of Ivan Eisenhower, you understand, Wilson Woodrow, to current Joe Biden. the U.S. policy against the formation of and the protection of the state of Israel has been as straight as possible. It has never had double standards. Well, what is talked about and the lives lost in Palestine are just footnotes to this entire story. You understand? The proper policy of the U.S. is the creation of the state of Israel at all costs. You understand? There have never been double standards about that. They've never come out. It's impossible.
The double standards I meant is that how come for them to come out to condemn, some other countries who are fighting for their interests? Because like Putin, we know he has interest in Ukraine. For example, when they annexed Crimea, why do they come out vehemently to condemn them? And as for them, they are supporting the offenders, like you're saying.
You have to understand the
supporting
international geopolitics.
of Israel.
Now, if you juxtapose that with Ukraine and Zelensky is a European Jew. Now, historically, Jews have been endangered species. When he was making his submissions, his inaugural submissions at the beginning of the show, he told you that the people who control the economy and the affairs of the United States are immigrants. Most of them are Jews who came from Europe, who came from the operation in Europe, from Germany, Nazi Germany, Mussolini, and the others, and went took refuge in the United States. They control finance, they control national defense, they control politics, they even have caucuses, you understand? They have super PACs. They can decide who is the president, you understand? They can decide who is whatever, you understand? Now, the Israelites, from their formation, he called it the reenactment or something like that, renasha of the Jewish state, made sure that if events that are happening now, Hamas, Hezbollah, ever occur again, they have a shoulder to lean on. In 1967, when you had the seven days war, is it called the 7 days war, where all the neighbors of Israel were at war with Israel, you understand? They were reliant on only one person. What was the US saying about this? You understand? So they made sure that they played their cards together in ensuring that their state will always be protected, and they made a long-lasting ally with the United States, who is a global leader. Now, the double standards are there, but the policy is very clear. It is in white, black and white,
okay,
and that's the protection of the state of Israel.
Mr. Irumba, the attachment the US has to the Israeli, it kind of leaves you confused. Who needs the other more? Because you see how the US has always come out. It doesn't want to upset Israel. Whoever offends or talks ill of Israel, you are
an enemy.
You are an enemy of
America.
Yes.
Now, that's true. America and its cousins, I mean the allies, it uses those extra hands to conquer. You get? So, if Palestine does not agree with America, but there is an Israel that agrees with America, America will support it. Whatever, even if it means killing 1 million people in Palestine for the sake of Israel to bolster themselves, America will go that extra. And I wanted to know that America is spending billions of money in US dollars, taxpayers' money in America, to support the Israel war.
What are their interests then?
Their interests, as I have already said, that for them, in order to continue the global geopolitics and position themselves as number one, like I said, they believe they are the headmasters of the world in everything. That's why they are not happy when they see China emerging, when they see Russia now coming up. When they see they are not happy. They must remain the giant on the planet. So these Israelis, the Ukraine, which other country there, they help it to stay on top. Yes, manipulate. If right now, if Israel ever wins that war, There is no way Israel at any time will be at loggerheads with America. Even the child that is not yet born today, but is an Israeli and tomorrow he becomes the president, the first thing to do, the first day he swears in, will be to travel to America to understand the policy. How do we work together? You get? And so by doing that, they are managing the influence, spheres of influence of America are actually extended and kept in better position when they have many countries ally with them and with their interests. I want you also to realize that partly Israel is also fighting for the interests of America, much as America is defending Israel. The economy, the economy of Israel and Palestine, the oil there and all other resources are mainly being traded by America. So they are benefiting. Okay. Yes, so even here in Ukraine, it is the interest of America. Remember, you know me, I used to like Trump. Trump was always very clear. He was not a very, diplomatic man. He was always very open. He said, in everything you do around the world, America's interests first.
Wasn't that his slogan even? Make America great again.
Yes. America first. So you can kill 1 million Palestinians. As long as the American interests are kept by Israelis, you will kill them. But you cannot do the same. Yes, you cannot do the same to the Israelis. So it is always the interest of America superseding others. And that's why you see some of these parts in the world where you find China and Russia have interest and America has interest and France has interest, like Uganda here. You find even the president sometimes is confused what to do.
With whom should I stand?
Yes. Because it's very true that a country like Uganda, there is so much you can do with Russia, but that will annoy America. So Museveni will say, if you are doing it, let's do it slowly. You get? Sometimes clandestinely, sometimes through another person, a third party. But why?
But you used the wrong example. With our case, we've seen our president standing firm, telling them off that you're not going to control me. In fact, if you deny me this...
Politicians are very tricky. On the camera, he tells you this. Behind it is something different. I met President Museveni myself.
Yes.
Remember, I met him 2 months ago. We spoke about this. He told me, these Americans, in the open, they are telling me they are stopping, World Bank is stopping collaboration with me, they are cutting aid, but at the end they are coming to me requesting me to sign more loans.
Okay.
The same people who are in the open are saying we are withdrawing. At the end they are actually persuading him to sign more loans, sign more grants. So he asked now, why do you want me to
These are people even contemplating expelling us from AGOA.
They have done so.
They have done
They
so.
have already made it clear. They have made it clear.
So
They are bidden as written. So the point I was making is that now in that context which you are saying, it's not correct for you to actually believe everything a politician says on camera. Follow them what they do in the darkness. That is more of what they actually believe in. So America has been like that. They tell you here, but they do the other.
all right. Mr. Stephen, when is this likely to end? It all just began on October 7th. Just 2 days, more than a month now, we are looking at the casualties. I already gave you the figures. When is this likely to end? And if it ended, what impact is this going to leave on the world? Because this is no longer only about Palestine and Israel. I've seen protests by the way across the world, and most people who are protesting, they're protesting in favor of Israel, in favor of Palestine. They're asking their countries to stop funding. They're asking their countries to cut off ties with Israel. I saw that in England.
This war, we cannot rule out when it is ending, because these people are still saying, everyone is saying, I'm protecting myself. And the issue of protecting yourself, it means that when you give up, then you are dying. So the Palestinians cannot say we are going to leave Israel to take our land and we stop the war. So either the international community now will have to intervene and intervene in the way that two of them are benefiting, and which I think it is now still very hard.
By international community, you mean who?
I like
That's America.
that's the point I was going. I was.
There is
trying
no
to
international
drive
community
home.
without America.
Because if you are saying UN is pure, actually almost
America.
all funded by USA. So the people who are supposed to stop the war, they're actually the people fueling the war. So I think for this war to, if we are to end this war, we must make sure that we come to a consensus that the Palestinians are not leaving their land, and Israel is now. We should now define the boundaries of Israel, and we say, leave Palestine. That is the only thing that can stop this war.
Which will never happen.
Which is very
Because like you all said, Council, that told you, these are people who believe this is our land. Either party believes that this is their land. You cannot convince anybody to leave.
Yes, you cannot convince anybody to leave, but then we have seen similar wars like this. He was talking of 1967, where these countries neighboring Israel, the Arab countries in the Middle East, were all saying this country should not be here. This land is for Arab states and it is not for the Jews. But then when they sat and said no, let them remain with this, because by then Israel had also developed the mind of taking more land.
That acceptance actually never came lightly. Like for example, Egypt, Israel has beaten those countries badly.
Yes.
Remember when Israel attacked and they bombarded the plains of Egypt,
Yes.
when Egypt was planning to attack them?
Yes.
Jordan itself has suffered the wrath of Israel.
Yes.
But the council I wanted also to bring in before we take a break. I'm looking now at the United States of America, and when we're mentioning how it meddles into the affairs of countries that are fighting for land, I also remembered the China and Taiwan. You know, you've already seen how there has been a standoff. China with its one China policy, and Americans are saying no, Taiwan is an independent country, and there's that treaty that America signed with the Taiwanians, saying that it is going to defend them at whatever cost. If this was to happen again, wouldn't we see a similar thing? If China wanted to move and annex Taiwan, are we not likely to see more wars of this kind?
And now, you must understand politics at that international level and understand what are they after. If there are some schools of thought that have said that the war between Israel and Palestine right now, you understand, is actually aimed at a certain particular country, and that is Iran. You understand? The policy of the United States towards Iran not becoming a power broker, a serious power broker in the Middle East. That's why Saudi Arabia has not joined. Now, America has its policy, and its policy is to protect its interests whatsoever. So I see China, the leadership of China, which equally has the capacity to meet this sort of violence and a lot of pain, excruciating pain to Taiwan, but they haven't opted for that option. They haven't opted for that option. Earlier on, we had Hong Kong. Actually, Hong Kong was a separate territory from mainland China. But until 1997, when the British and the American allies, you understand, decided to peacefully hand it over to mainland China. And right now it still even enjoys autonomous status. In my view, with this kind of politics, you see, the Baganda have a saying, Omugo gomunafu kubakolachi kuba mukubisa. You understand? You see, history has shown us that when it comes to these wars between Palestine and the Arab neighbors, you understand, victory has shown us where it has gone to, and that is with Israel. You understand? Now, whoever is managing the leadership, okay, now let's say the war is now a chessboard. Whoever is managing the affairs of Palestine should understand that if they have not amassed the kind of capacity to offset the state of Israel or to get a balance, you understand, they should think about, and I've seen these arguments from their very own. I think the son of the leader of Hamas has come out, you understand, has come out to condemn what the organization headed by the father, saying that we want peace, but Hamas has used us Palestinians, you understand, to extend their agendas, because for them they live in Qatar, they're in Doha. They're in Doha enjoying the security of the protection of the state of Qatar. You understand? And they command, they instruct what the Israelites have called terrorists to cut over, to go and commit acts of terrorism against a person they know who has capacity in unproportionate measures, who can cause, you understand, who has international support. It is not fair. This is not a fair war. You understand?
It's unfair to who?
It is not. It is very unfair to the Palestinians, because now they are the ones becoming statistics. You understand?
So you're agreeing with the United States of America's president, who accused the Hamas of using the Palestinians as human shield.
Who else? Who is on the apex of the pyramid here? Who is on top of the food chain here? Who is going to be eaten if we're in the jungle? You understand? Is it Israel? Has history shown that Israel is going to be eaten? You understand? No, Israel is not going to be eaten. It's the ordinary citizens of Gaza. It's the ordinary citizens in West Bank who are going to suffer.
They are paying the price.
They are paying a very heavy price.
Okay. Mr. Rumba, before we take a break, what does the silence of the Arab world mean in this? He mentioned Saudi Arabia, the biggest ally of the US. Very quiet about this. Qatar itself, Jordan, you know, all the countries in the Arabian Peninsula there. I mean, somebody was telling me here that when I look at what is happening in Gaza, and I feel so touched, I want to cry. But again, I look at my skin, I'm like, but I'm black. How about the other person, who is a fellow Arab, who is not even saying anything?
No, they are not saying anything loudly, but they are saying so much inside. Why they are fearing to speak is because they have, like I told you in the beginning, that America now has come out bare knuckles. Everybody has now understood the real interest of America in this war. You get it? Yes. The other time they have been hiding. Even by going there to open the embassy the other day, by Trump. And, you know, there was a lot of diplomatic sugarcoating of their statements and so on. Now, Biden, what he spoke on the day, the amount of money they have given, is a clear manifestation that, oh, these are the interests of America. And nobody wants, especially some of these Arab countries, nobody wants to have a direct confrontation with America.
Not even Iran?
Because they know these people, these are vampires. They suck blood.
No, not even Iran? We thought Iran would intervene.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to intervene to something that is directly your war. You have to calculate.
I remember.
Because I want you also to realize, when you see what is happening there, will that war ever end? Today, Israel might actually, overshadow the Palestinians. They can even kill them all.
But they will come and avenge.
They can kill them. You know, the America is talking about, America was not there.
Yes.
America is a formation of many countries and many people coming from different parts of the world they come and kill
Red Indians?
the Red Indians.
Actually, the empire was the Aztecs and the Incas, who are the Indians, the native Indians.
Red Indians.
They came and
wiped them all, killed the mosquitoes, killed the dogs, killed the pigs, killed the cows, destroyed gardens, poisoned water, did everything. They even manufactured diseases that could kill them all. America. Now it is United States of America. Why are they? When you know that you have taken over this studio and it is not yours, all the time you are suspicious. So you will have to put soldiers around it as much as you can, because you know one day the owner will claim it. So some of these Arab countries, they have understood now clearly that, oh, this is America. This is not Israel. This is America.
Initially, I saw, I listened to Joe Biden's speech. Initially, when the war had just begun, when the Hamas had just attacked Israel, he came out and warned. These were his words. We warn any organization or any country which would want to take advantage of this conflict. In other words, he thought, or some people thought that now that the Hamas have attacked Israel, some countries that have always hated Israel were going to take advantage and come and take over, sweep over Israel. We are taking a break. When we come back, let's discuss matters that have to do with us. Let's come back home and discuss local matters. We're discussing that because it touched us, as human beings. The numbers of Palestinians, of the casualties. Even Israelis have suffered also, casualties. When you combine the figures of people who have lost lives in this war, the numbers are close to 1,500. 10,000. 5,000. I'm taking a break. 15,000. That's what I meant. I'm taking a break. When I come back, we shall be discussing matters that have to do with Uganda. Do not go away. The dialogue will be back shortly.
Are you looking for a one-stop center to host your conference or meeting, wedding parties, workshops or seminars? Tobani Conference Center has the perfect modern space for your event. We have spacious outdoor and indoor space to accommodate over 1,000 and below 150 people, offering free lighting, LED screens, free sound system, free chairs, free Wi-Fi, and secure basement parking space. Drop by at Cafe at 2 and we will be at your service with our finest coffee, espresso, cappuccino, and cafe latte. Enjoy incredibly delicious meals, grab a milkshake or a cocktail juice. Only at Cafe at 2. And that's not all. We have the latest video games for the game lovers. We are located in the city center at the Tobani Center Building Level 2 along Ginger Road opposite DFCU Bank. For more information and bookings, call 0772 307875 or 0750 647486. Tobani Conference Center, the place to be.
Are you ready for a joyous Christmas experience like no other? Join us on Friday, 15th December 2023 at Tobani Center, Level 2 for an unforgettable family joyous concert hosted by myself, Patrick Cyrus Chicken, and friends, as we serenade you with our jazz renditions of beloved Christmas classics, from smooth saxophone solos to soul-stirring piano melody. Bring your family, friends, and loved ones to experience Christmas through jazz. Get your tickets now at the Tobani Center or call to secure your spot for this unmissable Christmas family jazz concert.
He was our neighbor. He liked us so much, man. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're still watching The Dialogue. Edirisa Mwong is my name. Here with my panelists as we discuss matters pertaining to the development of our country, Uganda. I do have Mr. Irumba. He is a Pan-Africanist, founding chairman. Founding speaker rather, of the Pan-African Pyramid. Horace, there on, which hotel is that? Fairway Hotel, every Friday evening.
From 5 to 8.
Yes. Before we took a break, you talk about America, and as a Pan-Africanist, I wanted to ask you how true this is. There are those who say that actually Columbus never discovered America. It was Mansa Musa. What? And if it's true that you Africans discovered America, how come you never settled there? How true is that?
Because the history, all the history of the world that we are reading today, Munange was made by the powerful ones. During the war, it is the truth that is always the first victim. So the history of Uganda right now is being written by those in power. So that may not necessarily mean the truth.
That's why they want
but
to
they want with the tools now to tell you.
predecessors.
Yes. That's why right now someone is telling you, don't build here a University of Amin because Amin was a very bad man. But if Amin's child now took over power, the University of Amin will be the first priority to build. And he would find a lot of support for that.
All right.
Yes.
So Mr. Rukaginuka Stephen is also here. He's an entrepreneur, also a politician, and also have Council Rufunye. The gentlemen, let's discuss the political atmosphere now in Uganda. The youngest political party, National Unity Platform, recently they opened up offices. Youngest, but also the biggest in the opposition because they have the biggest, number of legislators in the House. That's on the side of the opposition. Rukaginuka, I want to start with you. You subscribe to the National Resistance Movement. This is a party that has been in power for close to 37
for as old as he is, 37 years.
I don't think has even meant 37 years. But anyway, when you saw the, NUP establish such headquarters, which you don't own, which you don't have, basically when he was speaking on that same function, he said that the NRM doesn't own even a kiosk. The National Resistance Movement not having, headquarters, though I remember around 2011, after the 2011 elections, the Secretary General came up with a plan. Former Secretary General, Mr. Babazi, came up with a plan, to establish headquarters. In fact, was it a 20-story building? 27. I don't know where that ended, but never happened. Now, there are some people who thought that when the NUP opened up such headquarters and also brought, politicians from different political walks of life to attend the function, that those who read so much into this, they thought of a United Forces of Change being formed, which this is likely to threaten the National Resistance Movement. Because if they unite against you, you may not live for another day. What can you say about the National Resistance Movement? Rather the National Unity Platform, entrenching itself, 2026 general elections are not very far. They're just 2 years away.
Okay. First of all, I want to congratulate them for opening up their headquarters, but also to remind them or tell them that headquarters, yes, they are homes, but you can be in a home and you say have a home when you're even sleeping hungry. So a home, from it being a home, is not enough. You have been saying that NRM is not owning a headquarters, a kiosk as what Dr.
Those are not my words.
Yes, they are not your words, Dr. Besige's words. But then, it has been in power for years. So meaning that there are even actually other political parties which are having headquarters. If the Forum for Democratic Change itself is having headquarters, actually there are two now. There are actually two now. The Katonga and the Najana Nkumbi. But then, that has not helped them to be in power. So I want to congratulate the National Unity Platform because it is a milestone taken. Being young as it is and having educators who say they have done a great job. But then, educators alone are not, they are not solutions to people's problems. Having an educator does not mean that the people who are down are being, they are gaining from your headquarters. Because in fact, there is no program that is touching the ground people who are actually many. Because the headquarters are benefiting the people who will be working there. The one who will be at reception, those who are inside, they are the people benefiting from headquarters. So meaning that the people who are actually, whom we are thinking about more, because they are the people who need much, who need to be helped much, they are not helped by the headquarters.
So you mean the NRM are hesitating to establish headquarters that they fully own is because they are putting the you know, the local people or the citizens at the forefront as the first priority?
Of course, you cannot rule out that because we have not been with headquarters, but programs which are supporting people on ground.
You have headquarters actually at Chadondo Road.
Yes, but we are renting. They say they are renting. It is not a house like the Noob has done. So we are having a plan to bring what you are saying. It is still in plan. The Yellow House.
Yellow House.
Yes.
10 years down the road, not even a brick.
Of course, you know a big thing cannot come in a short period.
Councillor Derek,
Yes.
we are discussing the political atmosphere in the country. You also subscribe to NRM. I don't know if they've changed positions. The last time I saw you contesting, you even at the times I've had you on the show, you're either sympathizer or support of the NRM.
No,
Can you clarify on that?
No, I'm basically
At
neutral.
crossroads.
Neutral, and I'm very liberal with my mind. Where NRM is not sure about what it's doing, I will say it as it is. Where I think Noop is duping the public, I will say it as it is.
The public will tell.
Yes.
Now, my question to you is how do you see the political atmosphere in the country? As we look at 2026 elections, they're just 2 years away. If any party wanted to front a political candidate or wanted to contest for presidency, they would start planning now. I was surprised the other day I had the Secretary General of the JEMA, and he was telling me they have not yet thought about fronting a candidate. And I reminded him that on 4 occasions you have always supported a candidate from another party. He was like, maybe we can't rule that out, we might do it again. Which is
They are correct.
Eh?
They are being honest.
So, Derek, when you look at the political atmosphere, what is it that you are reading into it?
One, I think political drums are being sounded. Everyone is starting to gear up for the 2026 race. Of course, temperatures are starting to rise, but not to acute levels until maybe end of 2020, 2024 into 2025. My issue is now organization. You see, what political parties have done, and I think square, I'll blame it on the NRM, is to serve us with the road deal on how political parties should organize. And once we have very disorganized politicians, you have a messy country, like you see Uganda here. I have looked at the national resistance movement, and its leadership is when you look at the top leadership of the decision makers or the leaders of the national resistance movement, they are largely comprised of people who are in the evenings of their lives, you understand, discussing issues that will affect the likes of Stephen. So I would want to see the NRM transition, you understand, into younger ideas, younger leaders like Stephen, you understand, because I would not expect. I don't know. Recently, when I saw the president on the ICT week, at Kololo. He said he's a Katochi person, and the young people were asking him, why don't you have a smartphone? Because you see, he says the smartphone is Lugambo. He has a Lugambo assistant who can. But you see, it's trendy. That's what the younger people, and if you look at the old leaders and the younger population, the consumers of their services, of their mind, I don't think we are not in sync. Now, when you look at National Unity Platform, I will also congratulate them for having an headquarters and all that. But you see, politics is about numbers, about the tail end user, and that is the Ugandans. They have a lot of energy. You understand? They have a lot of following of young people, but they are devoid of wisdom.
Oh,
yes.
that's unfair from you.
No. They are you see, the old people have the wisdom, but they do not have the strength to push political policies that will help. Because I'm looking as a Ugandan, I'm a consumer of political decisions. You understand? True. Whether it's coming from the NRM, the FDC, the DP, or the National Unity Platform. And I have just told you that the NRM has a lot of wisdom, but very lacking on the energy. You understand? The young people, they do not have that transition. It's evident. You can look at the top leadership at the Secretariat, the leadership at the NRM, juxtaposed.
But that's not true. Let's start with, for example, Secretary General, young.
I don't think he's the age of Stephen. You understand? He's not the age of Stephen. You understand? If you talked about the young people's need to go to Nyege Nyege, you think you will have an idea?
And besides, when did we start looking at politics like that? Are you not sounding discriminating?
I'm not being discriminating.
This is what we fought in 2017, in quotes. This is what we fought in 2017 when we were trying to lift that term of age limit.
No.
In the constitution.
A leader's age.
We are trying to fight discrimination in political lines, and this is what you're bringing again.
A leader's age has nothing to do with him preparing from a younger generation. My question, when I question the age at the leadership of the party in power, is that do their political policies, you understand? Because you see, they are older and they are making decisions for a larger population that is not their age, you understand? Are those the proper policies, you understand? Coming from the old NRM leadership to the younger population of Uganda, the likes of Stephen. And then I'm asking, is it also safer for a political party that has a large following of young people, you understand, when the top is devoid with wisdom, because they do not have a lot of experience in what they call managing a country? Now, let me juxtapose it with what happened in the new headquarters and who were called to be the patrons. Dr. Kizza Besigye, you understand? Dr. Kizza Besigye, formerly of CPC, Chief Political National Commissioner of the NRA, you understand? Minister, you understand? Became, I am saying, he opposition figure. He has not had any success whatsoever. Now, I'm wondering...
Success in terms of what? As you're succeeding,
you see, the
take over the office has been interesting for.
Yes, the aim of any political party is to take over leadership of the country. None have been successful in the last 40 years. The ones that are existing, they have not been successful. It's always been the old man in the heart. Miriam Matembe, Minister of Ethics, former Member of Parliament, strong supporter of the National Resistance Movement, PAFO, I think, is it? Reform Agenda or PAFO, something like that. Turned into
PAFO, which later break,
I don't think
FDC.
The last time I saw her, she was with the JPAM. Go forward. Let's look at John Kenny Luchams.
The man.
Yes, legislator, president of the Conservative Party. You see, wisdom has stated that you cannot give what you do not have. You understand? If you do not have victory, you understand? I think for me, the choice of those who are devised, the consultants of the National Unity Platform, in terms of collective opposition.
Also, I sense a contradiction here from you. You say the NUP being young, yes, they have energy on their side, but they may lack the wisdom.
Yes.
Now, them bring these people on board, the ones you've mentioned, Dr. Kizza Besigye, Miriam Matembe. They are trying to answer to the query that you have raised, that maybe you're young, so you don't have the wisdom. Now they bring those who are old enough, who you presuppose that they have what? Wisdom. They bring them on board to work with them.
No. You see, I've told you, you cannot give what you do not have. You understand? The several times Colonel Chiza Besigye has been in contestation for the top seat, being chief executive of the country. He has not scored any. You understand? When you look at the Lord Mayor, you understand? He has been a Lord Mayor, and he's been lukewarm in the political strata of the country. That's being Lord Mayor, and all. We are talking about being the intelligence of being in charge of a country with its demographics like Uganda. You have to settle issues of Bakonjo, the Rwenzururu, you have to go to Buganda, you have to go to Busoga, you have to go to Balaro in northern Uganda. You must be equipped with the intelligence and the experience. And for one issue, I'll give kudos to the president, Museveni, for having gathered that for a very long time before he took over leadership. And that's why he has managed to steer this country for a very long time.
What did he do?
He has experience, he has been there. You understand?
But you know the history on how he came to become president. The people you just mentioned, people were around him. When Museveni had just come here, in fact, there are those who believe that's why he moved from what was termed as a unitary government, bring the likes of Paul Kanga Samogera on board, bringing some seniors he found here, because he looked at the people around him, and he was first by critics, like he had just criticized the NUP there. These are young, inexperienced. So he moved to bring these people on board to counter critics like you. So this is NUP bringing these people on board.
No, Idrissa, you have to understand. It takes the wisdom of the elderly. Some famous artists say it takes the wisdom of the elderly.
For starters, how old was Museveni when he became president of this country?
He could have been about 40.
In his
but you see,
40s.
Look at his political activism.
How different is from Kyagulanyi Ssentamu?
Look at his political activism from the 1950s. Look at his mentors, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, Shamora Michel, you understand? Frelimo, you understand? Look at his participation as a youth leader in the UPC government. Look at his participation in the military government, military commission. Look at his participation, you understand? He has been vice president before he became president. Look at his participation in the 1980 elections, creation of Uganda, UPM, Uganda Patriotic Movement, you understand? Until leading...
Getting one vote.
Getting one vote, yes, you understand? And you see,
yes,
if he did not have serious advisors whom he would seek counsel from, you understand, he would have missed out the opportunity, which was missed out on people who were thought to be very wise at that time, Paul Kawanga Samokole, who thought that the politics of Uganda in 1980s was diplomatic, you understand, and he chose. You see, it is not your usual menu to convince an army of young people to go to the bush, sacrifice their lives, you understand, to take over power.
Moreover, graduates. Moreover, graduates.
Yes, graduates who went to school, they've left their lives, their careers as doctors, as bankers, and what, to go to the bush, eat plantain and grass, and also
I admire him on that.
Exactly.
But what I wanted also you clarify, I ought to know is that yes, President Museveni was blessed to have that rich history. When you look at his track record, even before he became president, I mean, he was so blessed to have that. But we've had presidents who have had have not had the same history, but they have come even in the region.
Maybe in Kenya.
If you look at Ruto, yes.
Maybe in Kenya, not Uganda. And you see, our political history is very different. You understand? The turmoil characterized by the creation of the state of Uganda. You cannot compare it to Rwanda or Tanzania or South Sudan. You understand? Uganda
so you sound like these people who say that for somebody to succeed in ruling this country, that is Uganda, you must have a military record.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You must be experienced in the affairs of running the state. You understand? You don't fall from heaven. Leaders are not born. They are managed. Right. They are taught. You understand? They are taught on how to manage, on how to take certain decisions. That's why we have a president. You understand? One president. We do not have a deputy president. The vice president is an assistant to the president. You understand? We have one because you see, if you are not equipped with
That's the setting you chose. But in other countries, they have president.
because
deputy.
it's uniquely chosen for
For your
Uganda.
reasons, you chose that kind of setting.
It is uniquely chosen for Uganda. You understand? You saw the last elections in Kenya, where a deputy president, an incumbent was against the deputy president. You see, if we had such occurrences in Uganda, given our political history, you will have very serious problems.
Okay. Mr. Rumba, we are looking at the political atmosphere in the country, NOP doing their thing, NRM on the other hand having two, I also want to call them factions, Chambog and Chadungo. Because I can tell you, there is a video that went viral, I don't know whether you gentlemen saw it, where the Secretary General, Mr. Todong, was speaking, you know, but the statements he made, I thought they were going to rub his boss the wrong way. Where he was warning his party that we cannot continue being, you know, corrupt with all this nepotism. People are going to get angry. One time they're going to rise against us. I thought he was going to pay a price, but President Museveni, we know him as a patient man who's going to pay him at a certain time, because I don't think this can go, you know, Todong can, I don't know if they got a chance to that video, to see that video. But anyhow, what I'm saying is that Todong, I think he was speaking with a vendetta from the fact that his powers were kind of reduced after the establishment of the Chambogo. ONC, which they call the Office of the National Chairman. So, that, then the FDC on the other hand, two factions, kind of based, you know, based at Katonga, then Amuriats, you know, Najana Nkumbi. So, we'll look at the political atmosphere here. What is it that, how much are you reading into it? What are you making out of it? As we draw closer to 2026 general elections.
Okay. First of all, let me also take the opportunity to congratulate NOP for having found a permanent home. You know, it makes a difference when you have a permanent home, and it puts NRM that has been in power for the last 37 years, whose leader has been in the politics of Uganda for over now 50 years, and he has led a party that is in power for over 37 years, but they have no home to call permanent home. They have no place of abode that is permanent. Today they are at Kyadondo, tomorrow they can be at ONC Chambogo, the other day they can be in, they can even house them in my home the other day. But this is a party in power. At one time they even collected billions of money. They were how many billions? Around 23 billion? I remember under Mama Mbabas, they collected money. They have a plot and below Crescent Towers there. They have failed to build it. These are people who are in charge of the national treasury, you know. It puts them in a very bad light, and it does not give hope that you actually mean well. If you can even collect money specifically for headquarters, and so many years down the road, about 15 years, you have nowhere that money has built, nowhere, and you have no explanation. Now, if you cannot honor your own small things within your party, how can you now be given the entire national treasury for you to pick in money from for as long as you wish? So this is a very big indictment on the NRM side. FDC has a permanent home in Najana Nkumbi. They bought that house. But what is FDC compared to NRM? UPC, its home is opposite where we are now. You get
it? Obote Foundation?
Yes. That building is UPC. They have a home. So you can see that all these all the parties, apart from DP and probably CP, other parties have decided to...
Wait, do you want to praise the UPC for establishing a home? Did they use... okay, help me understand here. the money that was used to establish that huge building
UPC.
there, the Uganda House. Was this money from the party? Was this money from the national coffers?
I don't know, I was not around at the time.
When you speak like that, are you not tempting the NRM to do the same? If the National Resistance Movement chairman touched in the national coffers and got some money there and established such a huge building,
Do you want to
what
say,
would be our reaction?
do you want to say that because NRM has not built its headquarters, they have not touched the national coffers? Is that the yardstick? They are very honest.
They have, but at least they have not seen something tangible.
In fact,
there's nothing tangible.
in fact, because they are very honest, they don't have headquarters because they fear to touch in the national coffers. But UPC, they touch there and build. Do you want to have that narrative? So, anyway, that's aside. But going forward, I was discussing with one of the lawyers of NOP last Saturday. And that was a day after they had launched their party headquarters. I was there. I told him that now you have found a permanent home. That's a tick. But there are still so many boxes to tick. Number one is discipline. I can tell you, I went there, just as we had arrived there, few minutes, Colonel Dr. Besigye, whom they had invited as the chief guest, his official media manager, the official journalist, you know him, his phone got lost within thin air there. His phone.
That's typical Uganda, Mr. Rumba. It happens all the time.
No, let me tell you, I'm building my point.
Okay.
Then when you look around, you see a lot of hooliganism. Some people are pushed at the gate. You find that you hear a lot of throws there. Mr. Mwangi, this pickpocketing, when there is a group of people, a particular political party, moving around town or doing an activity, every time there is an activity that involves a particular party, maybe there is a rally, everybody going there, they warn them, don't go with your phone, don't go with camera, don't go with the laptop, you get? If you go there, be careful with your gadgets. Even them, I was listening when they was covering them, the MC was even mentioning, please, better steady in SMU.
Stay Rumba.
No.
I say this everywhere.
No.
We get that.
But my brother,
Just a second.
It's more pronounced.
Yesterday, but one, I was with you at a certain function at Hotel Africa. The MC said the same thing. You were there.
I was there.
So this happens everywhere. Where Ugandans have gathered, they always remind you to be cautious of your property. Don't just leave your property now.
But now, the issue is, those people you're talking about at the Hotel Africana, they're a bit different in terms of society classing to the people who are this side the Kavule. These ones are preparing to take over power and manage the affairs of the country. You get it? And so far, they are the biggest opposition party in the country. It means they are the government in waiting. The things that you are accusing these people today that you want to oust from power, you must be doing exactly the opposite. You must be doing the exact opposite. So when you see that level of thuggery moving around, and then you're accusing the other ones of being also thieves, but then before you go into power, your membership is into the same. When you look at the hooliganism, the level of hooliganism, but you are accusing these people in power of hooliganism. But you, before you go into power, you are actually the people in the echelons of the hierarchy in your power are people that basically their base for campaigns and everything is under the influence of hooliganism.
Let's understand this
It's
clearly.
very-
Wasn't this an open function? everybody would come, including well-wishers, including those who have ill intentions against the party. So if something went bad, like you said that somebody lost their phone, how would you then push that blame on the party?
But then, you know that I'm a journalist.
I know.
I've been observing these things for over time. That's why I was having a honest discussion with this lawyer of NOB. I told you one day after the launch, I told him the next big task that you have is to assure Ugandans that their properties will be safe in your hands when you take over power. Because if your own people within you can steal a phone of a journalist whose commander you have invited as your chief guest, now what happens tomorrow when you go down there to campaign? So this is a honest debate. This is a honest discussion, my brother. I want you to observe clearly that these phone snatchers, these street thieves and so on, they're always comfortable accompanying a certain group of people when they're in campaigns. I want you to observe it very carefully. These people are not comfortable being around Kizza Besigye when Kizza Besigye is campaigning. No. They are not comfortable being around the UPC. No. They are not comfortable being around NRM campaigns. No. They are not comfortable being around FDC. They are comfortable being around a certain political party when they are doing their activities. That's why they find comfort.
Their heart is there.
That's why they find comfort.
Let's not talk
That
about
is dangerous.
discipline. Yes, is very important as well. But let's talk about now the possibility of having these, political actors come on board, form that like what they call the United Forces of Change, front one candidate. Do you see this happening? First of all,
it can never happen.
Do you see Dr. Kizza Besigye, uniting with Chagulanyi's group, and they come up with one name to contest against President Museveni?
One thing in Uganda I told you the other day, that you people, you are giving these Ugandan misleaders a bad name. You are calling them politicians when they're actually politicians. We don't have politicians in Uganda, we have politicians. And the job of a politician is very different from a politician. So, what they speak here is to confuse society. Follow what they do. Follow what they do. What they do is more important than what they speak. A united, do you think Bobi Wine would allow to unite with the rest of the opposition parties, and then they appoint Besigye as now the joint candidate? I don't
see that happening.
Do you think it is going to happen? Neither can Besigye allow it.
Maybe Besigye can. Don't you believe this rumor? Not actually rumor, but what Nandela Mafabi said and the group. Why they deferred with Kanu Besigye? They said he was nursing an idea of bringing them on board to rally behind Chagulanyi Ssentamu. So for him, maybe he can accept.
He was saying that
now
the Besigye, they want to handle FDC to move.
Now, that is the exact mindset that they want you to know, that will never enable a joint candidature in Uganda, because everyone is suspicious of the other. That's one. Number two, everyone is so self-centered. Everybody. Now, let me ask you.
We've had joint candidates before, Mr. Iromba, you know that.
Yeah, but how much have they done? I'm telling you that be careful with what they speak and filter with what they do. They come here and announce here at Hotel African. The other day they were at Silver Springs Hotel. They come and announce. Immediately they leave the conference. They start doing everything possible to ensure everybody emerges as more superior than the other. You get? Nobody wants to be under the other person. And that is politics now. That's politics. So, right now, NOP is the leading opposition party.
Sure.
With a budget of 3 billion at least from Parliament. That is what I know. Do you believe? Can you convince them that tomorrow, in the campaigns now, they should rally behind an FDC candidate? And remember that FDC candidate, president who wins, will definitely also have bigger MPs to send to Parliament than this one. So in the next election, you might have FDC having more candidates in the Parliament. That means more money the budget will now, the 3 billion will now shift to FDC like it was in the beginning. NUP has just strangled it from their hands. So there are those calculations, my brother, that they will not tell you here in the open, but those are the things that actually play in the background. Money, right now. When you look at Babu, he has carefully organized himself to continue defending that budget, but also eyeing at the national chair. Any discussion that rotates around coalition, joint candidature, if it does not emerge that NUP is the lead candidate,
it won't happen.
It won't happen. And yet, FDC also, even now with a weak candidate of power, they also were not willing to give, especially with this Nandala Mafab.
Yes, they can't allow that.
Remember, Nandala Mafab is also nursing presidential ambitions. He is there nursing. You can never have. You cannot coalesce with the UPC, Jema, those ones, because after all, even if they said all of you bring your candidate, they don't have.
Okay.
Jema doesn't have, UPC doesn't have, PVP doesn't have. So what stops them from coalescing with you?
Stephen, if this possibility came into reality, you know, FDC, the Katonga faction, because I don't see, and from what I've seen, I don't think Mr. Power is getting along with the NUP. They never even invited him. But FDC of kind of BCG, the one based at Katonga Road, imagine if they came together, that FDC, which includes also Elias Lukwago, if they came together and came up with a joint candidate against NRM's President Museveni, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Do you see him, you know, beating them again? He has beaten joint candidates before, like I mentioned. But this time around, if Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, can Dr. Kizza Besigye united against him, can he still beat them?
Of course, that is he will beat them from answering the question directly. But then to go back on the question of those people uniting, it seems to be so hard for them coming together. We are making an assumption which is very hard, because these people, they all have interests of being the leading parties. Because FDC will say, we have been here from years, and now we are bringing a new party to lead us. Meaning that they created a party when they also wanted to take power. So they cannot rally behind someone who is actually, after taking power, they will say the National Unity Platform is the one leading the country, and FDC will not be said anywhere. So I think that is what is stopping them. Because if, for example, if FDC has failed to maintain FDC and they are sprinting, now how can they join with another party and they make a strong party, or they make a strong candidate? So it will be so hard for them. You know, sitting on a table discussing those issues are always easy. They can always sit together over and over, and they discuss about unity. But then, staying together after the discussion, it will always be so hard. Because these people are always having different aspects of life and actually different ideology.
Kyagulanyi Ssentamu has always said that why he believes, you know, in working with his colleagues, because he has realized that what brings them together, they have more similarities as compared to differences. But Council, I want to come to you. Imagine if this, if what they are telling us is true, that Dr. Kizza Besigye not contesting in 2021, he wanted his FDC to go behind Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. Had that matured, would we still have President Museveni as the president of this republic?
Now, let me tell you something, Edrisa, that even if you donated power, even if President Museveni donated power to the United Forces of Change. Understand? It would be the worst mistake politically, but also the actors in the opposition cannot handle the magnitude of the power given to them. You see,
If he handed it over to them,
even if he handed
that
it,
they would divide it.
even
So
if he handed
initially, you are
voluntarily.
starting the statement he himself made that he's the only one with the vision of this country.
No, that's not true.
Then what do you mean? You
see,
mean that nobody else can lead this country?
I have told people even before on other media platforms that President Museveni will not take a Ugandan to the moon. You understand? He has made his impact, his contribution. He's still making it, you understand? But there are very many factors which you and I know that will not enable him. And you see, I think the Bible has a book called Chronicles. The Baganda call it Ebyom Mirembe. They give accounts of how leaders perform. You see, look at what is the purpose, what is the mission purpose of President Museveni's leadership. It's not to make Uganda Dubai. You're asking him things that he cannot do. You understand?
He told you he's fighting for his interests. He's not fighting for
He's a freedom fighter who picked Uganda from the gutters where it was to a certain foundation. You understand?
And he has left it in the
And he has
gutters.
left it. He has left it there because
He
that
picked
is
from the
zero.
gutter and he has left it in the guttest.
No. He has. You see, if it's a train on locomotion, if it's a steam train, you understand, it is on the rails. It has not yet derailed. Earlier, before 1986, this country had derailed. That is a fact.
Now that you speak about him, help me understand the statement he made.
No,
Help me understand the statement which he made. When he said that, these people who think I'm fighting for them, I'm fighting for my personal interests. When the president of the country makes such a statement,
Fighting for myself.
now that
My
I've not
family.
got a chance to interview him, please help me understand that statement. What did he mean exactly when he
But-
says he's fighting for his personal interests?
you see, statements of leaders, you understand, have denotative meanings. You understand. What is President Museveni's family? You understand? Does he have is Rachtura Ochisos on Mars? It's here in Uganda. If he fails to tackle issues that are land related, when the new regime comes up and it's savagery, it's predatory, they will take over his land. You understand? His grandchildren will have nothing to inherit. You understand? When he says he's fighting for himself, his children and his grandchildren, you understand? And corruption is eating away the hospitals, and his children or grandchildren cannot get immunized. You understand? You see, you don't take a leader's statement for let me denotative, definitive meaning. You understand? Give it a wider perspective and understand. You understand? I think what basically was trying to shrug. You see, my interests are not personal. You understand? My interests are not personal. It's not to buy a house. It's not to own a car. Those I have. You understand? But my interest is to serve something better above myself. You understand? Because I'm not in his mind, but I would believe that would be the message a leader is sending. You understand? But I am trying to tell you the nature of political actors and political alliances. I've not seen any that is serious, that even if you donated power voluntarily to them, you understand, they would manage this entire body called Uganda. They cannot. They cannot. You see, a man who has not shown prudence in managing his own personal affairs, you understand?
Who's that?
How can he manage affairs of
Who's that?
all of them? You want
Mention
me,
names.
you want me to profile them and tell you how they have failed? You understand? You cannot tell me.
There are so many people who have, vied for presidency. You could mention names of people
You see,
who has failed to manage their
and I do
personal
not want to look like I'm discussing.
He wants to remain diplomatic.
I don't want to look like I'm discussing personality.
I'm just being curious.
But I am
It's
trying to
arousing
tell
the
you.
curiosity.
You understand? You see, the aspect, the job of managing a country, understand, is not a job of managing a music concert, a football team. You understand? You are dealing with the lives of people. You are dealing with making critical decisions that will determine whether people have life or die. It's a Gaza, Israel, it's a Hamas. Should we strike
I'm
Israel
still confused,
decision?
but I want you to understand it. Because from what you're saying, It's as if you're asserting that President Museveni is the only one who can lead this country.
No, no, no.
And the people we have that are contesting against him, you have not seen anyone who can sustain, who can lead this country. That's what you're trying to say.
I have told you that we shall see them from their fruit. You understand? Their ability to lead shall be seen. Mr. Rumba has been talking about basic discipline. I mean, don't be rogue, don't be with thugs. The Baganda have a saying, you see, if you attract filth, you understand, you're filth yourself. You're the mother of filth, you understand? If you attract thuggery, if you attract what do they call it? You are not receptive, you understand? You are not receptive, you understand? If your message, if your political message is deflective, it is not a unifying message, you understand? Well, how can we
remind you, one of the biggest vices you have in this country is corruption.
Yes.
Stealing public funds. How is this any different from, stealing funds like you were saying?
Yeah, but he told you. You do not start by stealing a whole kilometer of a road.
So they are not any different.
You start by stealing a mobile phone. You understand?
They are not any better. The people
Yes.
you're trying to
You do not
defend,
cause genocide.
They are not any better.
In fact, why you are stealing a phone now is because that's what you can access. If they give you an opportunity to access national coffers, you'll be still 10 times than these ones in power.
But those they want to replace are not any better.
Yeah, but now what is what is the importance of me removing a thief and replace another with him with another thief?
Actually, there is a...
After this thief here who has been here for 37 years, now he has a house, he has educated all his children and grandchildren, he has a chopper,
Yes.
he has enough land, he has enough money on his account, he has bought land outside the country and built. Now he is actually not stealing. It is others who work with him who are stealing. Now you bring a person who is hungry, he has never eaten, so he will start development from zero.
So as you wind up,
So you'd rather have this one who has eaten and gotten satisfied and
Yes.
now he's just there.
You see,
gentlemen,
Mr. Drissa,
yes, as we get out of here, our time is fast spent.
As I wind up, you see, if the political opposition parties must give Ugandans a good deal, it shouldn't be a raw deal. We should rise above the occasion. You cannot accuse Salim Saleh of having no office in government, you understand, and being a brother of the president, when the chairperson of National Unity Platform is a relative of the president. You understand?
Okay.
When the wife, you're accusing the first lady of being
I thank you,
the wife is the head
Council.
of...
We have to get
So
out
that's
of
the
here,
standard you
gentlemen.
cannot
I
allow.
thank you so much, Councillor Derek Mfunye. I thank you so much, Stephen. And I also thank you so much, Mr. Irumba. Thank you so much, our dear viewers who've come to the end of the show. May the good Lord continue blessing you. Till we meet again. From me and the team, it's a goodbye. Have a blessed weekend. God bless.